Hi, my name is Elise Spenner, and I'm a sophomore from the Bay Area. I grew up watching and reading powerful women telling stories that mattered. Jane Ferguson in war zones like Afghanistan and Syria, Amna Nawaz at the U.S.-Mexico border during the high watermark of immigration tensions, and Jane Mayer tracking down the billionaires that fund conservative political movements. Those were the women that I wanted to be like. They were fearless, irreverent, forceful, and crusading changemakers. They told the truth, and they shared stories at any cost. But while I watched and read Amna Nawaz, Jane Ferguson, and Jane Mayer at night, I spent my days in English class writing essays. I didn't know how to write or talk like the journalists I aspired to be. I didn't know how to draw a reader in and catch them on a hook. I didn't know how to make a reader care about something I cared about. Then, I went to the Michigan Interscholastic Press Association. I learned how to be a journalist there. I learned what a nut graph was, that quotes are the substance of your piece, that a reporter leads the reader on a journey, not a summary of the facts or an analysis of the story, and that your only job as a journalist is to tell the most accurate journey that you can. At MIPA, I interviewed my grandmother, and I was edited by my dad. I needed a real environment with real sources, real readers, and real editors. I found that at the Burlingame Bee, my school's newspaper. As the first freshman in the program, I needed to make a name for myself. In the 2 years since, I've interviewed candidates for the school board, demanded that my city rename its streets, and launched a 3-part investigation into mistreatment of the local continuation school. Next year, I'll be the managing editor for the Bee. But when school ended that June, I realized I couldn't stand not writing for 3 whole months. So I joined the high school SCOTUS blog, where I could write about the Supreme Court and interview legal experts. I talked to NPR reporter Nina Totenberg, and I learned that even the best in the business weren't always handed the prized beat or taken seriously by their sources. They had to earn it, and they had to keep writing. Last month, I spoke with Senator Sheldon Whitehouse, and I learned that senators aren't so different from us. Both conversations emphasized the value of telling the story behind the story. Even though both had been interviewed thousands, hundreds of times before, they had new things to say and new perspectives on the world we live in. There's always value in speaking with others on a human level. That's what I took from that experience. This winter, I started a podcast about the law, how the words of the Constitution and the decisions of the Supreme Court play out at school and for students. I love writing, but I wanted to explore a multimedia platform. I wanted to meet my audience where they were, and that required taking the leap into podcasting and communication through audio. It's been a learning curve. Hearing your own voice is hard to stomach. And podcast editing is no easy task. But I'm talking to more legal experts and professors than ever, and I'm reaching more people with my lessons than ever. That makes it all worth it. This summer, I'm ready to embark on a new chapter, and I think the first page of that chapter is JCAMP, learning from professionals and from fellow teenage journalists from around the country. What are they doing that is innovative and creative and that is pushing the boundaries? Whose stories are they telling? What light are they shining into dark corners? And how can I bring those lessons back to my podcast, my blog, and my school newspaper? I can't think of a better or more exciting opportunity. See you in July.